Hi everyone. Let's continue on with part 2 of this to-do list app that we're working on, or Todoey. And hopefully this will be a short video. I'm trying to make these videos a little bit shorter, but we're going to explore basically using user defaults. So as a high-level recap, if you remember, we left off with using a item array that's a variable. We were able to add things to our list, able to append them into our item array, and then we saw that list automatically refreshed. Basically, a list, SwiftUI can see when a list changes, and then it will refresh the items on the list. So this video today, I want to go just through user defaults quickly, and this kind of follows the Udemy course about user defaults and things like that. Hopefully it'll be a short video. I'm trying to make my videos a little bit shorter. I know 30 minutes is a long time to watch somebody develop. So let's try to make this like a 10-minute video. All right, let's see what we can do. All right, so hopefully this won't be too difficult or too long, but instead of a array that's predefined, what we will do is we'll create another array, and I'm just going to retype it just so everybody can see it. And this is going to be an array of strings. So we're going to have a item array of strings, and in this item array we're going to use user defaults. So user defaults dot, and there's a couple different types of user defaults, and what we're going to do here is the standard or the shared defaults object. So we'll do that. Then we're going to do a string array because we want to have a string of arrays, and I'm going to call it the to-do list array. All right. So basically this line will load a to-do list array, and it will from the user defaults. And this is going to complain because if there is no user defaults that has to-do list array, it will crash. So I can fix it by using an exclamation point to force unwrap it. Now this is not great practice, mainly because the preview will probably crash just because it doesn't know. Oh, there it goes, right? So it crashed because it does not know how to implicitly unwrap this particular value. What we can do is we can actually just use the other thing, which is we can coalesce using the double question marks, and we can make the default value. Let's just make it an array with one item. To do array item 1, something like that. Okay. To do list item 1. All right. And so what we'll see is this will then the preview will work, because if for some reason it can't accomplish this, which it seems like it can't, it will go ahead and just load one item. All right. So on the other side, when we add new items down here in our add item, instead of appending it to an item array, what we want to do here is we want to basically use user defaults to add it to the user defaults. So we'll comment that out, and we'll use user defaults dot standard, and we're going to set, let's see what we need. We need the value. So set the value of the default key. So let's set a value of new item. So we're going to try it this way. We're going to set a new item, and we're going to set it on the 4 key to-do list array. And we'll see if this works correctly. This may not work. We may have to bring back an item array and append it there, but let's take a look to see how this actually runs. All right. So go ahead and start the process. Build has succeeded. Let's take a look. So we might see that to-do list item 1. Let's add new item. Hello. All right, so let's add that. And it entered hello, but it looks like it did not add to that item. So now let's do some troubleshooting. What exactly happened there? Why is this list array not updating? Did I do something wrong here? Most likely. So one of the things that you know the way they did it inside the um, in the app is that I have to append the entire array, because right now what's happening is I think the to-do list array is appending just the new item. So what we'll do is we'll do an item array, we'll append it, and then we will set the item. We'll set the user defaults to the entire item array. Self, and because we're self.item array. All right, so let's give this a shot, right? So what was happening there was that it looks like it was attaching just this value. And, you know, one of the things actually, let's actually do this. Let's troubleshoot that. So I'm going to comment this line back out. Let me change this back to new item, right? This is what I was trying to do. And one thing we could do, like they did in the Udemy video, is we can go to the path where we're storing these values and take a look. Now, in Swift, there are some nuances. So you can't just do something like print. And I think in the video, it was something, it was the NS search, right? Print NS. Let's see if it's even going to let me print NS search. Yeah, path for directories. File manager is going to be, this is just not happy with anything I'm doing right now. Is documents directory, if I can ever get this to work. Documents directory. And then user domain mask, true. I'm going to take the last and as a string, right? So that's what we're going to do. All right, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to print this out. And this is not going to work. I can't just drop a print in the middle of a struct somewhere. I can't even take it, and I can't even drop it in the view. Whereas in SwiftUI, you could do it on a view did load, you could do it elsewhere, but I can't even do this. So it's going to complain as well that this is not going to work. At least it should. Let's see. Yeah. So this doesn't conform to view. Why? Because if we control click option, click on a view. So this is a protocol view, and it does expect certain things to happen to the view. So the way SwiftUI's view builder works, and views in general work, is that they consume any values in the closure that aren't used. So the print function, because it returns nothing, it's void, the builder will have to build into view so it fails. All right, so what we can do though, however, is we can do a little bit of a hack, or I think it's a little bit of a hack. We can actually just assign an auto assign variable, and or store the variable in a wildcard. And by assigning it to this variable that we can't access, void is never actually offered back to the view. And that's how we can get past this kind of print limitation. So string, I think I forgot the last parentheses anyway. So now this should work. And just to make sure I didn't break it, I just want to make sure that it wasn't because of my syntax that it didn't work, right? So again, can't conform to the view. So let's put that let back in. And you will actually see that the errors run out. And let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. So every time this view loads, it'll actually execute that line. All right, so let's go to this path like they did in the Udemy video. And we'll just open up Finder. And because library is usually a hidden file, we'll just go to the folder, and you can do ~library. Oh, sorry, ~library. And we'll go there. We'll go ahead and go to developer. Oh, I've already opened it. Developer, Core Simulator, Devices, 747, Data, Containers, Data, Application, 0F0, and under Preferences, you'll see the SwiftUI sorry, Todoey SwiftUI plist, the user defaults that I'm using. So let's double click on this and see what it says. So right now in this item, there is just one item, a to-do list array, and it just says hello. So if you recall, when I was playing with it, I put the word hello in there, and when I ran it, I just appended just the word hello. So let's run this again. When I run it again, I bet it'll say hello, because it's pulling from, oh, that's very interesting. So it's pulling from this to-do list item now over here. So let's see if I add a new item, what happens. Hello world. Okay. So it adds it. It says you entered hello world. If I go back to that file, let's see if we can find it real quick. You'll see that it now says hello world, right? So it's doing a string rather than an array, and because this type is a string, it is causing some of it to break. So let's go ahead and do a string of arrays, but instead of instead of appending just one new item, let's append it to the array first, and then we'll append the entire array to this key. And then now let's take a look and see what happens. All right. So again, I expect this to show that to-do list item 1, because again, if you take a look at this file, you can see this file, once I can find it, you can see that it is a string. So it's looking for an array. Up here, it's looking for a string array, and it's not finding it. So it's actually not working correctly, and then it's putting this item in instead. So in our simulator, let's go ahead and add a new item. We'll call it the Hobbit, and let's see what happens to our, and you can see that every time we refresh, it actually runs that print line that we have. So now the Hobbit is showing up. So let's take a look at that plist again. All right, so now it's an array. It's got two items, a to-do list item 1 and the Hobbit. And so I think if we go back and we keep adding an item, we'll call it the Fellowship. Oops, I misspelled it, but you get the idea. We can still click on all these items, still shows up correctly. But the difference is now if I crash out of this, or if I end this and I reload it, I should see all of my items still in there, because it is being saved to this plist file, right? So all these items are here. It's being saved. All right, so in this video, I'm going to make it nice and short. We'll finish now using user defaults to set it items, and using this little weird hack to print out things. So I'm going to comment that line out because it'll just keep displaying it over and over here. But at this point, this is all I wanted to show, user defaults. Next video, we'll probably custom model and custom data model. I want to clean up the directory a little bit too. So maybe a little data directory cleanup. And we will also do, I'm hoping we can get into core data, but we'll see how long the video is. So this is part 2. Look for some more parts coming soon. Thanks everybody for watching.